We found out that by adding this step in the sales process, it actually raised the booking rate by roughly 50% and reduced tire kickers, making sure you only have qualified and interested prospects knocking on your door. Now, even though this might sound complicated and hard, I promise you it's very simple if you follow these key tenets. I just want to mention before I dive deeper in this presentation, as of this moment, many coaching program or agencies out there are majority generalists. They do the same exact thing that I've done in the beginning. They try to work with everybody and everyone. They do not specialize, and because of that, they have poor results for their clients. And the reason for that is essentially they use outdated marketing techniques and they didn't specialize in a niche. Now, conversely, we are so specialized that we only choose to work with health and fitness coaches who only want to build online coaching businesses. Now, we're so niched and specialized in our industry that we don't even work with brick and mortar facilities or clinics. Only health coaches and fitness trainers aiming to build an online business. That's it. Even if somebody comes, look, I have a brick and mortar practice, I totally understand it, but I'm not the person for you. We only work with people who want to transform their lives, because changing to this hybrid fulfillment model, this online fulfillment model, it can essentially transform your life both financially and essentially from a career perspective, because you have the ability to work with multiple different people, you have the ability to work remotely, you have the ability to coach so many different people from all around the world and make a total impact, as opposed to being limited to your area. And as I've told you, telemedicine, it's a humongous industry that is growing, and we're here to capitalize on it. Now, the other problem is that majority of health practitioners don't have a marketing problem. They have a business model problem. They are experts in their field. However, to scale your online business, you need to understand the core tenets of what makes an online business scalable and profitable. Typically, the biggest mistake that online business owners make is that they generalize. And here I'm going to show you why being a generalist will severely affect your earning power, as it affects my earning power, and undermine your business potential. Now, here we have an image which is called the niche pyramid, the generalist to specialist model. Now, as you can see in this image, the more specialized you are and known for solving a particular problem, the more money you can charge and the less commoditized you are. So you can see exactly this person, when he has the status of a authority or a specialist or a celebrity, he can charge more money as opposed to a generalist. Now, conversely, the more generalized you are and you try to help everybody, the less money you can charge, and the more you have to work and the less effective you are. And truthfully, this is simply illustrated in this diagram that I created. Let me just zoom in into it. Now here you can see I wrote the bullet points here, but essentially they're the same exact chart. So let's just say you specialize in solving one problem for one target market. In this case, you specialize in helping women over 40 lose visceral fat. Because you specialize, you can now productize your delivery because you solve the same problem over and over again. Because now everything is standardized to the teeth, you now get great results in fast time without headaches for your clients. Now, because your clients are happy with the results and they provide you with great testimonials and case studies for your business. Now you can leverage the same exact case studies and testimonials in your marketing, therefore making you an authority. Now, because you specialize and can provide great results for your clients, you can now charge more. As we can see, the same exact process here is from a generalist to specialist. The more you have results, the more you have testimonials, the more you have case studies, the more specialized you are. Now you became the person in that niche. You are the person of helping a woman over 40 lose visceral fat. You are the person of treating maybe Hashimoto. You are the person of treating maybe some sort of maybe stress disorder. You are the person of maybe curing a specific health problem within your niche, and hence you become an authority because you are the person, you are the specialist. Hence you can command a higher price, and you have higher authority in the niche. Now let's just take the opposite effect. Let's just say you are a generalist, and this is what I call the generalist downward spiral. In this case, you are a generalist. You start working with anybody and everybody who pays you. Now, because everything is customized and you start working with everyone, your delivery is not productized and is not systemized. Therefore, it requires a lot of custom work for each and every client. Now, Because you cannot provide fast results to your clients and provide poor results, because there is no productization from your end, you cannot scale because you need to customize each solution to your client. Now, because you're not a specialist, you cannot solve the client's needs fully, and therefore you deliver poor results. Now, because you deliver poor results, that leads to negative reputation and reviews in your marketplace, and hence you're forced to shut down your business due to lack of capital, because now you have no sales, you have no customers, and now you ruined your reputation. And essentially you will lose to the specialist. That is the idea of it. Now, a lot of people might not understand that eventually market will grow from simplicity and to a blue ocean to a red ocean. And the majority of people who actually capture majority of the fish, let's just say, in the ocean are the people who specialize. In the beginning, you have generalists, and they come and they essentially try to establish their authority in the marketplace. Now, as the market starts progressing, as the market becomes more sophisticated, now new competitors come into the marketplace and they start specializing. And what essentially happens is the specialists, because they're now focusing on solving that particular customer's problem, they now essentially capture the entire marketplace because they speak so clearly to the problem and they speak so clearly to the target customer that they lose, the generalist loses all their potential customers, but because they're not treated with the specialty they actually need. So hence they lose the customers to the specialists. Now, I'm going to show this by illustrating you a very simple metaphor. If you have an eye problem, would you go to visit a general practitioner or an ophthalmologist? Very simple. Now, okay, Gamir, I got it. I need to specialize, don't generalize. Okay, great. What's next? How do I start? What is the first starting point for myself? And essentially we took a deep dive and made a lot of research, and essentially we created a very simple exercise to determine what type of clients you want to serve. And you do this by completing and answering these 4 important questions. Question number 1, what condition or problem have I historically had success with? Question number 2, who is dealing with serious conditions or problems as opposed to mild problems? Question number 3, who would I enjoy working with as a client? And question number 4, if my compensation was determined by the results I bring to my clients, what client and with what problem would I be able to provide the best possible results? Now, answering these key questions would provide clear clarity on what type of clients you wish to work with and what type of conditions and problems you had the most success with. Okay, so what is the next step? Now, a lot of people might have the misconception that, okay, I identify the client that I want, I identify the problem, now I want to start marketing. This is the client acquisition machine that everybody's talking about. I need to get clients. And a lot of people, their first instinct is to start posting on Instagram or social media. And a lot of people believe that in order to be successful in social media or in online marketing, you need to be some sort of an Insta-famous type of personality with hundreds and hundreds of followers online, even thousands and thousands of followers online, and you need to be invited to all this shows and be a guest speaker and all of that part. And I cannot tell you this is very false and further from the truth. Now I'm going to say you that the problem with organic marketing is simply that is organic. Advertising platforms nowadays are pay-to-play type of platforms. And if you want to have a reliable acquisition machine that works 24/7, you cannot simply rely on organic. Only if you have 2 conditions. If you meet this criteria of either having a massive following or you have the desire of becoming Insta-famous, which truthfully takes years until you see some sort of results. Other than that, it's overly saturated. Even if you start posting constantly on Instagram or on TikTok or on Facebook, your reach, meaning the amount of people that will actually see and interact with your post, would be essentially very low. And also, you will not have the guarantee that you will attract the right type of crowd. So for me, it's a no-no from the get-go. Now, with the system and the client acquisition we install, mainly the HPL Health Practice Launchpad funnel, is in this system you have a reliable and a predictable system of getting clients. Now, it's a simple math equation. If I place $1 in this client acquisition machine and get 5x back, even 10 or 7x back, then I know what I can base my business on. But with organic, we have no predictable mechanism installed. With organic, when you start posting, you do not have a measurable way of seeing exactly what is the type of reach. Today, maybe you reach 100 people. Tomorrow, you may reach 5,000 people. And maybe the day after, you reach maybe 300 people. Now, we do not know, we do not have access to our targeting. We cannot customize the people who will actually interact with our posts. So it's very unreliable. However, when we add and we essentially created this client acquisition machine that we created, the HBL value funnel, this is reliable and very scientific way of approaching client acquisition, where we have reliable metrics. We know exactly if we pay $1 or if we pay $10, we will know that we'll get, for example, 10,000 customers. Out of 10,000 customers, maybe 100 are gonna click on our ads. From 100 gonna click on our ads, maybe 50 of them will go through the funnel. Out of 50, maybe 20% will drop off. So now we have 40 customers. Out of 40, maybe 20 people will actually book an appointment. Out of 20 who actually book an appointment, we'll have maybe 7 sales sessions or show-ups. We'll have 7 show-ups. So in this case, now we have a reliable and scientific and measurable way of identifying where our money went and how we're going to make money from our investment. Now, at the same time, this is the same exact funnel I am using to get clients. So as I mentioned earlier, we are using the same exact system on ourselves. So we only teach what we preach, and it worked for us and it hopefully worked for you. Now, the other part is that we need to understand that we need to start selling transformations and not transactions. We need to understand one core principle that all our clients want, whether they want to go to the gym consult or a nutritionist or visit a chiropractor, they all want the same exact thing, and that is they want transformations. The reason a person comes, whether they come to a digital marketer, to a consultant, to a nutritionist, to whatever, they want the transformation, they want the end results. If by all practical purposes, if we cannot take them from point A from point B, meaning essentially provide the transformation they're looking for, they have zero interest in essentially working with us. Now, clients don't care about how many sessions it takes or what procedure or protocol you use to achieve that. They all desire transformation, and it's the same exact process in my scenario. Now, all my clients didn't care or don't care if I use Facebook ads or use Instagram or use TikTok ads, email outreach or cold calling to get them new clients. They care only to get a reliable system that can produce market qualified clients from the get-go. What methods, tactics, etc. I use, it's simply irrelevant. Now, the same exact process applies when marketing your services. Clients desire transformations, not transactions. In this model, you solve crucial problems. So when you're selling transformations, not transactions, you essentially, 1, you escape the time for money conundrum. 2, you remove your client's capacity ceiling. And 3, you eliminate the coach-dependent transaction model. Now, in the typical scenario, what I like to call the done-for-you type of scenario, in this model, it's prevalent in majority of type of businesses, whether that is agency or fitness or consulting or health practice. It does not matter. Done for you to essentially means I, the expert, do the things for you. So I essentially do the entire fulfillment for you as a client. Now, in this system, the expert does all the work as the client receives the work. In this scenario, the client is totally dependent on the expert. Plus, the client has no involvement or accountability from his end. Now, if we switch the model in the hybrid model or what I like to call the client empowered model, the client now takes the leading role in solving his or her problem, therefore understanding intricately what he or she needs to do and not only receive. Now, the expert in this scenario is there to provide accountability, guidance, structure towards achieving the desired result or towards the journey that the expert promised to the client. And most of the time, especially in healing or weight loss conditions, clients will get even better results because now they themselves are accountable for their actions because they are totally involved in the process of getting there. And here's a diagram that illustrates my point. On the left hand side, we have the advancement arrow. On the right hand side, on the bottom line, we have the time frame. Now the client starts here at point A, And then the experts, by providing autonomous tasks and accountability, progresses the client through time, through his coaching program, from point A to point B. And as we see, the client will be provided some tasks and some responsibilities. The coach will be there to make sure that the client undergoes the right and the right regimen in order to progress and solve his condition or solve his problem. And slowly but surely through time, the client essentially will be guided via the interference of the coach to essentially go from point A to point B. You can see here we have the client started in point A, entered the program, the coach provided all the information, the tasks, the accountability, as I started in my fitness goal. And now slowly but surely, in maybe depending on the duration of the course, it may be 3 months. Typically majority of coaching programs are roughly 2 months, 3 months, depending on whatever type of service that you're offering. Essentially, you will take the client to achieve their desired result. So now, how do we go about doing this? Well, we do this by implementing the same delivery system that we call the CAKE program. And this is segmented in 4 key layers. Layer number 1. The first layer of the CAKE program is universal content. These are step-by-step videos or SOPs that your client must follow to ensure results. This is the base of your program. Essentially, you want to transfer the methodology that you have in your head on paper into an easy to follow step-by-step process. Now be aware to only write down only the essential steps and not to confuse the client. It's very important. Do not overload them with information. Just provide the step-by-step process, the simplest form, the essential steps from getting from point A to point B, to not overwhelm or confuse the client. Now, layer number 2, we have the community aspect of it. And truthfully, we are social beings. And whenever we foster or enter in a community, all striving to solve the same exact process, you will essentially be amazed to see how people will enjoy the process even more and get better results, as the social pressure, competition, and the community itself acts as an accelerator in the client's healing, weight loss, or whatever type of problem that you're solving. By adding the community aspect and the community element in your program, essentially the community will become like a self-organizing organism that will keep all the clients or all the members of that community accountable to the social circle. Now, layer number 3, coaching. In this layer, coaching would be done in group settings for people, eliminating the need of one-to-one sessions. And in 90% of cases, if you specialize in treating only one type of problem for a specific customer profile, 99% of questions would essentially be the same. So answering them in maybe quick Q&A calls or even content will essentially help you streamline your delivery method. Furthermore, in cases where clients would need personalized support, you can essentially add office hours or one-to-one consultations if you choose to. But even then, this can be essentially added by adding the final layer. And layer number 4, it's the client success or accountability layer. By adding accountability cadence and a structured check-in protocol to each client in need, you provide them the best of both worlds. You provide personalization and scale at the same time. Obviously, scale for yourself. But by having a dedicated client accountability cadence and check-in dates, you allow yourself to provide results for all your clients and at the same time allow for scalability in your business. Now, all of this can be done by simply switching to the hybrid fulfillment model, where essentially you're not going to sell transactions, you're essentially selling transformations. And because now you're selling transformations, you're the specialist in that solving that particular problem, and you have a transformational program that essentially provides results to each and every customer that essentially is qualified to undergo your program, you can potentially sell your program for 1.5 to 3K per program, which is outcome-based transformations for the duration of maybe 4 to 16 weeks, and essentially requires less to 10 hours of work a week for fulfillment and management once every single part of the system is set up. Now, why do I say that you should charge at least 1.5 to 3K for a program? And the reason for this is that in business, it's better to be the most expensive solution as opposed to just being the average solution. Either you want to be the best or the most expensive solution or the cheapest solution, not in the middle. And the reason is that in the middle, it's what I call the dead zone. In this zone, it's the most dangerous position that you can possibly find yourself in, because in this zone you're not the best but not the cheapest. Therefore you're still alive and viewed as a commodity, and the last thing that we want is to be portrayed as a commodity, because when we're a commodity, now customers will start comparing us with our competition, and essentially competitors will start price competition with us because we're not seen as the premium option. Now I'm gonna make a case here for why I believe you should be the premium option in your business, and why I believe in any coaching program, or matter of fact in any business scenario, it's much better to be the most expensive option as opposed to the cheapest or the average option. When you are and you're selling something that is the most expensive in the marketplace, essentially being the premium pricing in your niche, you essentially attract higher quality prospects. You have the luxury to choose and work with whoever you want to work. You can essentially deliver great results because you have the necessary resources, and then you are perceived as the best in that specific niche. Now, when you position yourself as the premium option, as the best option, you essentially create a category of your own, where even if your competitors try to provide a cheaper offer, because you leverage the power of specialization, branding, systemization, you are still viewed as the best at solving that particular issue. Now, just think about it. There are scenarios that people are willing to spend even $100,000 for a brain surgery. Why? They're willing to go to maybe Switzerland or United States and spend $100,000 to a brain surgery that takes no more than 30 minutes. Why? Because that single 30 minutes that can potentially save someone's life, and they're willing to spend that type of money only to the best of the best, that is the specialist in that niche. And the same exact theme happens not only in medical type of businesses, but also in normal type of businesses such as like luxury car. I mean, would Ferrari sell their car at a discount? Majority of time, no. When they're just launching a car, it's just full price because they are seen as a premium option. Ferrari does not associate themselves with being a discount of being of lower quality. They are the best of the best. So if you want to be the best, you're gonna pay premium. Now, the same exact thing is with Apple. Majority of the time, Apple does not sell their phones at a discount. Absolutely not. Maybe after 2 years, some type of phone at some outlet store, you may have the ability to find some sort of phone. But in the beginning, they're seen as a premium option. People are spending $1,500, $2,000 for a phone that essentially does the same exact thing as a cheaper, maybe $300, $400 phone from maybe Xiaomi or whatever other brand. But they're seen as the leader in the space. And because they're leader in the space, they essentially capture the entire market space, and nobody can compete with them because now they're specialists, they have the power of branding, and they have the power of premium pricing on their side. Now, when you are the premium option in your marketplace, you are the best, and the best provide results and are specialists in their field. You are only able to provide and charge premium pricing in the marketplace because you are a specialist. Only specialists typically can charge a lot of money for their services, not generalists. Generalists cannot charge a lot of money because they didn't specialize. As I mentioned earlier, in the same example with a brain surgery or maybe a car, they specialize. Ferrari does not sell, as I mentioned earlier, normal type of cars, does not compete with, let's just say, Volkswagen or Ford. They only sell hyper luxury or luxury cars. They are a specialist in that segment, hence the ability for them to charge higher prices. Now, the same exact principle is applicable in any type of business. Whether you're selling a physical product like clothing or cars or homes, or you're selling services, is the same exact thing. So, my question to you, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the Casio or the Rolex of your business? It's simply up to you. You choose.